Hello and welcome to another episode of What to Pick. This is the video series where I go over a few different starting hands and explain what I would pick and why. And in today's first starting hand we have a decision between Mining Guild and Point Luna. Both are engine corps, but in a vacuum Point Luna is better, so let's pick that for now. We have the always interesting ecology experts. If we have a card for that, like algae, bushes, trees, farming, kelp farming, then this is amazing. If not, then it's basically unplayable. Mining Ops is probably a safe second pick because it's a good development prelude. The other two I don't like that much. Let's see what we get. Oh, we have bushes. Okay, with bushes on hand, I think you can definitely pick ecology experts. By the way, we are on Elysium. There's honestly like an argument to go for biofuels. Because we are on Elysium, because that's 3 green tags plus bushes, that's 4. That means you can immediately, you have immediately 4 tags for ecologist. You probably don't have to fund it immediately, but you could if your opponent was pressuring it. So I kind of like going for these two together. So let's take a look at the rest of the starting hand. So bushes for sure. The rest honestly doesn't look too great. You could like skip biofuels and go for mining ops and get the 4th green tag with designed. But designed is also quite expensive for a corp like Point Luna. This is definitely something you wouldn't pick. You wouldn't play in Gen 1. But yeah, I think I like biofuels more because you also get power prod with that, and with that you can play fuel factory to use up the steel you get with. Wait, you don't use up the steel you get with mining ops because you don't pick mining ops, but at least it's another development card, and this is something this hand is lacking. Not a lot of development here. Aquifer Pumping and Open City are dead in the opening hand, in my opinion. Industrial Center probably wouldn't pick this up with a poor corp like Point Luna. Heat Trappers is like pure speculation. It's more likely on a map like Elysium that your opponent is developing heat because of Generalist. If he wants to go for the milestone, he needs at least 1 heat prod. If he gets 2 or more, you can trap him. So you could think about taking this. You could also think about taking the science that you have on hand here. If you were to go that route, designed would give you another tag, but honestly, I don't like it that much. This is a difficult starting hand, I have to admit. No heat prod on hand, so Lake Marineris is also not an easy pick. I would probably... And no earth tags, so nothing on here that is an obvious pick for Point Luna. It's still not really a mining guild hand because there's no tile placements and there's not a lot of playable, useful early building tags for it. I probably would go Point Luna, and due to the lack of playable stuff, I'd maybe go for the science here. You end up with 2 science tags with Search for Life and Designed, 2 more and you get Quantum. That power prod can be useful in combination with the plant prod to push both parameters. And also with 15, with this costing 15, you have 23 left. That's more than enough to play Fuel, Factory, and Bushes Gen 1, and then Design Microorganisms Gen 2. I probably wouldn't gamble on Heat Trappers because Point Luna is so poor. Same with Industrial Center. It's not a bad card, but as Point Luna, I wouldn't keep it probably. And yeah, Lake Marineris without Heat Prod isn't that great either. Probably would be these 5 cards. And yeah, Eco Experts into bushes is a lot. Is most of what makes this hand not suck. So yeah, not an easy starting hand. Definitely let me know in the comments whether you had picked differently on this hand. But let's get to the next one. Okay, hand number 2. And it's a decision between IC and Astrodrill. In 99% of cases, Astrodrill is bad because it doesn't have that much to offer if you don't find a good asteroid collecting card. And there's so few in the game that most of the time it just isn't great. So let's pick IC for now and see what we get. Orbital Construction Yard and Power Generation are probably the two better preludes here. Mining Ops loses a lot of value because IC starts with 20 steel. Let's see what we have. Oh wow, this is a depressing starting hand. So there's a lot of like fringe Venus cards, like Air Scrapping Expedition and Hydrogen to Venus. These are not great without combo potential. Definitely wouldn't pick them up. One idea I get here is picking the 4 power to go for Ironworks. Bumpers are not that great, but you can pay for the bumper with your steel that you get. And yeah, it's not that bad to miss out on Orbital Construction Yard because you don't have a space tech that you definitely want to play. Venus Space Station and Hydrogen to Venus are both not that great. What you also could do is pick up potatoes and use up the 2 plants you get from biofuels to immediately play that. It's a really cheap production card, and without any support on the plant side, you're not expecting these 3 plants to get you a conversion anytime soon anyways. Also, you're using Ironworks to push the oxygen, so you're not really reliant on the plants anyways. So potatoes is a good play in Gen 1, I think. We're playing on Tharsis this time, so the green text don't matter for something like Ecologist. By the way, no reason to pick Astrodrill here. There's no asteroid cards as most of the time. And because there's so little you want to pick up here, I think Tardigrades is a safe keep. It's a good card to play in Gen 1. It will almost all of the time score you 2 points, sometimes 3, and it grants you a stall action. So I'd probably pick that up. It's better both on Elysium and Hellas. On Elysium, it's a tech for Ecologist. On Hellas, it's really useful for Eccentric. But even on Tharsis, it's okay if you don't have that much to do in Gen 1. Then again, Air Scrapping Expedition is useless. You could think about Crash Site Cleanup. I like the card. If you can play it sometime during the game, it's a good value card. And if you for SC especially, because you got 2 MC back. Venus Space Station, with you pushing the oxygen that much, I don't think you're going for Venus. I wouldn't pick it up. Ice Cap Melting, no heat prod on the hand, probably won't pick it up. Wave Power, there's better power production out there, wouldn't pick it up. Hydrogen to Venus, super niche. You don't have any combo potential for it, won't pick it up. And Magnetic Field Dome is just a really bad card. So I would say these 4, that's it. And you basically just play potatoes and tardigrades Gen 1, and Gen 2 you play Ironworks and get that going. And you hope you find something in the draft. It's as easy as that. So let's get to the last hand. And on hand number 3, we have a decision between Helion and Viron. So again, this is Venus next. I think in a vacuum I like Helion more. Let's see what we get. Polar Industries is a good prelude for Helion. Aqua Turbines is generally good. Let's see what we get. Nothing that suggests we should pick Viron. There's no action card on here. Other than Water Splitting Plant, which we could honestly immediately play. Or at least it's playable, but we lack the power, and obviously it's not worth it to play in Gen 1. You need the power, so earliest possible time to play it would be Gen 2. But we are lacking power prod for it. You could go power generation and Polar Industries with Viron. Play Subterranean Reservoir Gen 1 to get to 2 oceans. You have 3 power prod from power generations. Get Water Splitting Plant Gen 2 down, and then... Oh wait, that doesn't freaking work because you need 6 power prod. It's not that great anyways, because the oxygen track is limited. There's only 14 steps on it. So maximum, if you get all of them and get none of them out of plant conversion, it's 7 gens. But obviously your opponents will take some steps out of the track, and maybe you will also convert some plants, and then it just doesn't take long enough. You just don't have enough time for this double action on Water Splitting Plant to be worth it. But yeah, it doesn't work anyways, so I think there's no reason to play Viron. Helion at least gets a little bit of heat prod out of these 2 cards combined. But the starting hand, again, is not that great. Sponsors is an easy keep on almost any starting hand. It's a solid production card. Subterranean Reservoir... we have 2 oceans already, and the oceans on Hellas are not that great. Helion, you could still go for Water Splitting Plant, Subterranean Reservoir, plus Polar Industries, plus Power Generation, gets you to 2 oceans and 3 power prod. So you could play Water Splitting Plant Gen 2, use your heat to increase the temperature track, use Water Splitting Plant to increase oxygen. 2 oceans are already down. So you could try to rush with this. Mineral Deposit is always an easy keep in a starting hand. What else? Definitely not Eos Chasma. It's too early. We don't have like tons of steel prod. It's not worth it to keep. We don't have enough building text for MATLAB to make sense, and Underground City is just a bad card. Noctis City you could think about. It's freely placeable on this map. It's alright. Energy Saving, bad card. Very situational mid to late game card if there's tons of cities. Oh, really mid-game card. You don't want to play power production like that much. You don't want to pay that much for power production in the late game. And then Commercial District also isn't a great card. So these 5 maybe. Play Sponsors and Subterranean Reservoir in Gen 1. Water Splitting Mineral Deposit into Water Splitting Plant Gen 2. Increase oxygen and temperature. I think that's probably what I would go for. Again, no reason to play Viron. You'd need 6 power prod for this Water Splitting Plant to be activated twice per gen, and you just don't have that, and the oxygen is going to run out too fast anyways. So Helion really is the only sensible pick here. But yeah, it's not that great of a starting hand as the other 2 today also were. But sometimes that's just the way it is. So yeah, I still hope you liked this episode. Sometimes these difficult and not that great starting hands can be quite insightful. And yeah, definitely let me know in the comments whether you would have picked the same cards as me. And yeah, I hope I see you in the next one. Have a good one, guys, and goodbye.